it's Jenny J, 1911. Um, I'm sorry. I'm starting out the night in a good vibe. I was reading some newspaper articles that I'm going to be sharing with you all in a little bit. um, so, all right. First things first, I want to get to all of our people that we have present so far. Dennis Hall. Oh my gosh, Dennis Hall is our newest member. Dennis, thank you so much. You're amazing. So we also have our member Cowboy Jeff 1911 is here. He says, J Crew assemble. I'm imagining that's how he would say it. I don't know. Michael Dunn is here. Good to see you. And we have others. Stephen Hall is here. Member Stephen Hall. And of course, my husband's over here in the wings. But we've got more and more people joining. My little eyeball number is going up and up. So that's good. Everybody's tuning in. Oh my gosh. Where do I start? I have so much to tell you guys about. Critter is here. Critter's in the house. Okay. You all know we went to Tulsa this last weekend, and oh my gosh. I mean, it was so cool, and I am so glad that I got to go. So the pavilion where they had Michael Dunn says, so spill the beans, Jenny. The pavilion where they had the world's largest gun show was ginormous. Apparently, I didn't know this until after we were at the gun show, but apparently this particular exhibition hall is the largest freestanding building in the United States, which means it has no pillars or center supports. So, we don't have any buildings that are bigger than that, that are freestanding like that. It just has walls, right? So, and another thing that was cool about it was half of it it was like a split level, I guess, maybe you could call it. So it was a really cool building. Apparently they have like race car things that go on in there. Like there are ramps that go along the sides, the inside of the building. And they use that for race car stuff and everything. I mean, it was just huge. And so you all know that I had read you the statistic that said if you were to go for every hour that they were open of the weekend, so Friday and Saturday from 8 to 6 both days, if you went for every hour, you would only be able to spend 15 seconds per table. Well, obviously that's not going to happen. It took us a long time to get in the groove. When we first walked in, we were just overwhelmed because we were like, where do you start? So when we had gone to the NRA annual meeting, did I say not Saturday and Sunday? Saturday and Sunday was when we went. I don't know what I said, but I just got handed this note. Saturday and Sunday. We were there Saturday and Sunday. When we went to the NRA annual meeting, we had a map going into it. There was a map of all of the exhibitors. And so we were able to kind of look beforehand and say, okay, we'd really like to go to these places. These are priority. And with this, we had no idea. We had no idea. And the other wrench that we had thrown into it was we got there, and of course we have all of our gear, all of our camera equipment and our microphones and everything. And so we get in line at about 7:30. And we also had a few guns we were selling. So that was an added layer of difficulty because we had to have all of our guns checked. So we had our cameras and all our gear, and we get up there, and there in all the windows and posted everywhere says no cameras or recording devices, period. We're like, I knew for a fact that other people had recorded there in the past, so I thought, oh boy, what are we gonna do? So we went in, and we were like, got our guns checked, and we were a little overwhelming. We were a little overwhelmed, and we decided, okay, we're just going to start walking. We're going to walk toward a wall and work our way back. And so anyway, we started doing that, and the first thing we noticed was how many freaking single action revolvers, specifically Colts, they had in this building. Oh my gosh. They had very few modern or polymer guns, which honestly was, to me, a breath of fresh air, because, I think we all have polymer guns, right? They're to me, a polymer gun is more like a means to an end. It's not my favorite kind of gun. So what we saw there, lots and lots of old guns, just really old guns. But Dennis is asking if Mr. J got his Colt. No, he did not. He was really bummed because, well, first of all, we are maxed out on our 357s. We've got so many revolvers and 357s. So he really wants a 45 long Colt. So that was what we were specifically looking for him. And the prices of those things are, as you can imagine, just, if they are second or third generation Colts chambered in 45 long Colt, they are expensive. And we came across one. He thought it had never been fired, brand new in the box. Perfect. It was absolutely everything he wanted. And he's kind of looking at it, and he was like standing there looking, and it's on the table. He hadn't put his hands on it yet. A lot of the tables had signs that said, please do not touch unless we give you permission. So he's just kind of looking at it, and a guy comes up from nowhere. Y'all know how this story is going to end. Guy comes up from nowhere, and he's like, I see that this gun says $2,600 on it. He goes, will you take 24? And the guy working at the table said, yep. And the guy goes, okay, sold. Like, he didn't even look at the gun. He just bought it. And, Mr. Jenny J is standing there like, what just happened? It was just one of those things. And I mean, that was the best deal on a single action Colt that we saw there. And I'm not saying the prices are unfair. We all know Colts are going to be pricey. So it was just crazy. I have never seen so many revolvers in one building. The other thing I was really, really surprised about was how many knives they had there. There were so many knives, and not crap knives, like good knives, and lots and lots of like custom made knives. So we actually got one for my stepson. He is a proud new owner of a beautiful handmade knife that has a beautiful handmade leather knife holder, sheath. Thank you. So it was just incredible. The other thing that we saw a lot of there were Springfield track doors. And so that's actually kind of something we've been in the market for too. We'd really like to get our hands on a nice trapdoor, but we have some requirements for the trapdoor. We're specifically looking for the markings the on the stock, the stampings. And so a lot of times you'll find these and they don't, like the stamp is kind of rubbed away, or maybe looks like the stock's been replaced. So that original mark isn't there. We found a trapdoor was absolutely beautiful. We checked the bore out with a bore light and it just glistened. It was so immaculately clean. And we were like, okay, we're gonna look around a little more. Big mistake. We went back and it was gone. Of course. So yeah, it just so many guns. It was so cool. The first day we did pretty much no Jenny J stuff. And part of that was because of the whole, can't have a camera thing. So we're looking around. We don't see anybody with cameras. Nowhere are there people with cameras taking pictures or recording or anything. And so we're like, ugh. And so I was like, I'm just gonna have to go up to the front table and ask. Well, by the time we got done doing our own personal stuff and making our personal transactions, it was time to go. And we were beat. I mean, we were so exhausted. And so we just, we left. We're like, all right, we'll be back in the morning. And so the next morning I went back we got there right at 8:00, or a little before actually. And we walked in. I went up to the customer service desk or whatever table. And I explained to them, gave them one of my business cards and explained who I was and what I was doing. And she said, well, I'm not the person for you to talk to, but let me go get somebody else. So she did. She went and got somebody else. And that person came out and said, well, do you want to, I forget how she said it. She said something like, are you pro gun? And I was like, yes, definitely. And she was like, oh, okay, then it's fine. And so she gave me a media badge and then we were able to do stuff. But, it just, oh my gosh, it was just crazy. It was so crazy. And then that second day, of course, I ran into some fellow YouTubers and, chatted for a while. And it was so much fun. So many nice people there. I've said it 100 times. If I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. I really feel like gun people are some of the nicest people. I just, I feel like it's just an automatic family, a built-in family. And I feel like everybody there, especially, everybody knew we're all here for the same reason. And we all have a same love for the same kind of thing. And it's just, everybody's very, very friendly. So I did end up getting a new to me gun. This is going to be my winter carry gun. And so I'm going to be doing a video on that this week. I don't know if I should tell you guys what it is or not. Some of you probably have this gun. You know what? I'm going to tell you. I mean, why not? So the gun that I got for my winter carry gun is a Springfield Armory Champion. And it is chambered in 45 ACP. And so Brian's Custom Canvas, I've already emailed him and said, hey, I have a new project for you. I would like another holster. So there you go, Brian. And Brian's been out hunting. So he did email me back and told me, what he's been doing, what he's been catching. So, um, so yeah, it was a really great time. The guy that I ended up getting that new Springfield from, well, like I said, new to me. I know it's actually a discontinued gun, so I'm kind of excited to take it out and do a video on it. I did sneak out last night since it's my winter carry gun. I didn't want to wait too long to find out if it actually functioned. So I did take it out last night to the range. We went out to Ultimate Defense and I shot it. And oh my gosh. Well, I'm not going to give away too much, but I will tell you. So, yeah, I think it's going to work out well. I think that, it's going to have a fairly positive review from me. So, yeah. What I experienced last night, I had 0 misfeeds, 0 malfunctions. Absolutely every round of every type of ammo, and I shot like 3 or 4 types of ammo through it. Everything fed through it perfectly. No problems at all. So, yeah. So Dennis Hall, I want to back up to a question Dennis Hall asked. He just asked a little bit ago, who won the Dylan Press? We don't know yet because we haven't had the drawing because we haven't gotten 5,000 subscribers yet. We are sadly still just creeping up on 3,000. In fact, I will check my numbers right now. Let's see what I have going into my YouTube studio right now. I have, see if you can see this, 2,840 subscribers. So I don't know, that's like a gain of, I think, 10 subscribers in the last day or so. So, I mean, it's just always steadily creeping up at this rate. We should get to 5,000 by, let's see, what year is it? 2022. We should get to 5,000 by 2026. I really hope sooner than that because seriously, I really want to get a press sent out to one of you guys because that's just going to make things so cool. But I will tell you before that, in the meantime, actually stay tuned because I found a really, really cool vendor. I'm not going to tell you what they make, but they make some of the most awesome things I have ever seen for gun-related merchandise in my life. They were at the gun show in Tulsa and I've talked with them and I was like, oh my gosh. So I found some things I'm going to get that I am going to raffle off, or not raffle, but like have drawings for you guys. So I'm going to be playing some games with you guys, having you guess some things. And then whoever guesses like the best guess, I'm going to send some stuff out to you guys. So make sure you stay tuned for that because I am so excited. I love sending you guys stuff. I love sending stuff to you guys. And this will be, like Jenny J 1911 merchandise that you can have in your home. Or you can give it away. I don't care. But, if you win it, I'll send it to you. So, so I'm going to go back up here. Dennis Hall wants to see the new gun. Well, I can't show you on a live because then YouTube would say, we're demonetizing you. And so I'm not going to let that happen. So you'll get to see the new gun sometime within the next week. I promise you, Dennis Hall, you will get to see the new gun. It's really pretty. And, I wish I could have you guys shoot it. What's funny about that gun, actually, you all know my friend Les. So my friend Les sent me an email this last week and he said, hey, I've got an idea for a video, which is one of the reasons I just love and adore Les, because he is always making these awesome suggestions for videos and stuff. So he says, I've got an idea for a video. How about you do a video on the the Springfield Armory Champion Concealed Carry Contour? And so I was like, yeah, I love that idea. He said, carry it for a week. You can carry it for a week and then, and then give your thoughts on it. And I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And so I said, yes, I'll do that. Well, apparently this gun that I ended up getting is pretty much the same gun. Like I haven't really seen, other than the fact that this new gun is chambered in 45. And I think that contour is chambered in 9. I think that's the only difference. So it's going to be very similar. And so it was just funny because he had suggested that I did carry my new carry tonight. I had to take my daughter to a job interview. And so I was in St. Charles, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna carry. And so I went shopping in some other stores while she was in her job interview. And I was just like, carrying the new gun. It's always exciting, right? Like I know most of you probably carry, and I always love carrying. Like it just makes me feel so much more secure, I guess. But I was carrying this gun and I was like, this feels like a good gun to carry. So I just need a better holster for it. I'm just not really thrilled with my holster, but that's where Brian's custom canvas comes in, because he makes the most beautiful leather holsters. And I know that he is going to get me all set up. And Brian's custom canvas, I am more than happy to send you whatever. You tell me how much I need to send you, and I am going to be getting a beautiful new holster for my beautiful new gun. So yay. Let's see. All right. I am going to jump back up here into my, oh my goodness. I've missed a lot of comments. Okay. Okay. So Critter's asking 4-hour trip one way. No, it was a 6-hour trip. And, by the time we made a couple of stops on the way down, which I'm going to talk about our stops. You guys have seen the videos, but I'm going to talk about our stops in a minute. It's a 6-hour trip, and we left at about 7:30 in the morning, I think. And I think we got there at 5 in the afternoon. So, okay. So we also have another new family member. Okay. We have another new family member that I just was handed the box to. I am also going to be doing a video on this one, and this one is really, really exciting. So I am going to put my hand over the label here. I'm just going to show you the box, and you have to guess which model this is. Okay, so I'm going to show you the box. See if you can see that. Does everybody see what the box says? Dan Wesson Firearms. All right, so obviously I can't show you the gun. I'm just showing you the box. But I want to know if anybody can guess what is in this box. Da, 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 da. So I have it open. I'm not even going to show you a magazine. I was going to say, maybe I'll show you a magazine, but you know what? I'm not going to, no, you're going to have to just wait, because I'm going to do a video on this one too. But seriously, how nice is this box? I mean, doesn't that make you happy to see a Dan Wesson box like that? So yes, we have 2 new family members. My new Springfield, and this is technically my husband's new carry gun. So, but he let me shoot it. I did get to shoot it already last night. So it's pretty nice little gun. I'm actually going to let him like moderate the comments and see if somebody can guess it first. Michael Dunn wants to know how many Rugers made it home with me. Michael Dunn, let me tell you a little something about those Ruger guys. So they're very, very protective of their Rugers. And I can guarantee you that if I had tried to make it out of the building with one of their Rugers, there would have been a huge price to pay. No, the Ruger collectors were incredible. Oh, well, I mean, how could they not be, right? Like they're collecting one of the, I guess, most timeless firearm brands that exists. I mean, everybody knows the name Ruger. If you know anything about guns at all, you've heard of Ruger. And these guys, have put so much heart and soul into researching and collecting and protecting these firearms. The exhibits that they made were incredible. And of course, no video or photographs are really gonna like display everything as wonderfully as they look in person. I did get a very, very nice email. So the third gentleman that was in my interview, Lee, he had emailed me today and said, hey, can you send me the link for your YouTube video? And so I did. I was a little nervous to send it to him because I was like, what if he doesn't like it? But I sent it to him and he wrote back and he said it was a great video and that I had done a great job, and he was sending it to his friends and family to share it with them. So I just thought that was really cool. And, when I'm doing a story like that, I want to do it justice, and I want those people to be proud that they're in that video, because what they're, it doesn't matter who I'm interviewing, whether it's like the people at Missouri Bullet or, the people like we've interviewed youth trap and skeet teams out at Gateway. It doesn't matter who we're interviewing, whoever I'm interviewing, I want them to feel proud when they see that video and say, wow, this is true. I'm doing this really cool thing. And this is proof that I'm doing this cool thing. So, yeah, so I was really glad when, he sent me this really nice email back and said that he liked the video, and that was just cool. It just kind of, makes it all worth it for me. So, let's see. Michael Dunn says I need to buy some spy equipment like pen cams. That's true. That would probably make things so much easier. Okay. Michael Dunn also said he heard from other gun people that they saw me walking around. Michael Dunn, here's what's weird about this. I go so many places and I have people come up to me and say, hey, do you have a YouTube channel? Like, we were out at Gateway, I don't know, like a week or so ago. And now granted, it's Gateway, like it's local for me. But my husband and I were just standing there, like, we weren't doing anything. We were just standing there. We weren't even talking to anybody. And a guy was checking in, and he looks over at me, he and his wife, and he looks at me and he goes, hey, do you have a YouTube channel? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh yeah, I've watched you. And so it just seems like, a lot of places I go, most places I go, I have somebody that comes up and says, hey, are you that person? And I tell you what, I walked around 2 entire days at that gun show in Tulsa, and I didn't have a single person say to me that they recognized me. It was the weirdest thing. I really thought for sure that somebody would be like, oh, and I had on my hoodie and everything, and Mr. J had on his Jenny J 1911 hat, and I was just really surprised. I was like, huh, like, I don't know, maybe nobody at that gun show has ever watched Jenny J 1911 before. So I was like, oh, well, I guess we're going to have to reach out more. But if Michael Dunn says he heard from other gun people that they saw me walking around, okay. I guess people just didn't say anything. So if I ever see any of you guys at a place like that, come up and let me know. Like, talk to me. I am completely, completely cool with that. Like, speaking of talk to me, Reese isn't here tonight. I'm calling it. Oh, is he here? Okay. All right. My husband is nodding. Yes, he's here. I just haven't gotten down to his comment yet, probably. He must be down here somewhere. So Dale lives 2 hours west of Tulsa. So Dale, did you go to the gun show? I'm interested to hear. Maybe you've already told me, but let's see. Critter says, finally, after 3 days of cold weather, he turned on the heater. You know what, Critter? It's funny you say that, because I'm actually, what you all can't see is that, so I have another thing that I collect, and that is blankets, specifically the Early's Whitney Point blankets. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these before, but I'm obsessed with Early's Whitney Point wool blankets. And the one I have on, I'm wearing it like over my lap right now, is 1, 2, 3, 4 point. It's a 4-point blanket. So if you know wool blankets and how they're sized and the point system and everything, it's 4-point blanket. Anyway, and as you can see, that tag is immaculate. One of the requirements for a good Early's Whitney Point blanket. But I'm sitting here with a blanket over my lap because the wind is blowing outside. Like it is like, I can hear it. It's very windy, and I'm really glad I'm not outside. When I left for work at 5:00 this morning, it was nice out. It had snowed overnight. It was the most perfect snow because it didn't accumulate on the roads or the sidewalk. It accumulated only in the grass and the trees. So it was beautiful. We got the benefit of seeing pretty snow, but it wasn't cold. And the streets and the sidewalks were clear. I was like, this is like if it snowed in heaven, this is what it would be like. So it was kind of cool. So I was really happy with that snow, and I'm not excited when the real snow comes and then we have to start shoveling. So, oh, good. Okay. Brian says he can most certainly accommodate my holster request. Yay. I'm so excited for that. Okay. Michael Dunn says more than half. Yes. More than halfway there to 5,000, I'm thinking is what you're meaning. Dennis Hall is making his sister join. That's good. I appreciate that. I've got a hair like hanging in my face, kind of drive me crazy. Michael Hurtneck says, you can have me shoot it. Just send it to me. Nope. I love you all, but not that much. I'll keep my guns. Oh, Reese didn't get a notification. There's Reese's comment. Stinking, you know who? Not giving notifications. Affordable Armory is here. Good to see you. Oh, he was taking a nap, but he's got coffee now, so he's good. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to skip ahead because I still have to read my newspaper articles to you. So Reese says I'm a tease. What? No. Cowboy Jeff says 30 super carry. Is that your guess, Cowboy Jeff? Because that's not correct. Michael Dunn says he must love you. Are you talking about Mr. Jenny J 1911? Because I got a gun. Oh, because he's letting me shoot his Dan Wesson. Which, did anybody guess what this is yet? I'm astounded. Walter Bunning is here. Good to see you, Walter Bunning. He says, "Hey, friend." Cowboy Jeff says, I just can't have a non-shooter. I almost bought a gun once that was a collectible, but I definitely planned on shooting it. And he said, not for sale. You got denied because you're going to shoot it. So this is actually interesting conversation that you bring up, Cowboy Jeff, because you all saw in that interview, I did ask one of those gentlemen, I said, I think it was Vince, the first one. I said, do you shoot any of these? And he said, no. He acted appalled that I would even ask that. And so, my husband and I were talking about it later, and he said, I don't care if Billy the Kid owned it. If it's mine, I'm going to take it out and shoot it. So, I mean, we're kind of the same way, Cowboy Jeff. If we have a gun, we're going to shoot it. So, I think that's what they're there for, right? Like that's what they're there. Critter says, hey, YouTuber outlaw. Okay. So, Dale did not make it to the gun show this year. That's too bad. Michael Dunn says, I see Jenny J needs a Jenny J logo blanket. Oh, yes, that's a good idea. And then Tom just asked, who else thought she was about to pull out a Jenny J 1911 logo blanket? I know that part of the income for a YouTuber or a social media person is that they have all the merchandise. And I don't know. I'm really bad at marketing, I guess, because I'm not good. Somebody commented, I think Cowboy Jeff said he'd really like to have a Jenny J 1911 hoodie to go with his Jenny J 1911 hat and Jenny J 1911 cup. So, if you guys really want hoodies, we could definitely, set you up with that. But I'll have to let my hat and shirt guy know. He's the one that does all of our stuff for us. So, let's see. Mark Tanner says, would love to have gone, but it's a long trip from Arizona. Yes, that would be a very long trip. Oh, wow. Dale says you got 2 inches of snow in Oklahoma yesterday. That's crazy. Dennis Hall asks, does Brian make custom holsters? Yes, he does. And Dennis Hall, as a matter of fact, if you go to the, I've got a mail call video. I think I'm standing in front of like the mail center, with a blue t-shirt and shorts on, and go to that video. I got a beautiful black leather holster from Brian's Custom Canvas for my Hellcat Pro. And it is the nicest leather holster I've ever touched or laid my eyes on. So he does really beautiful work. So his contact information, I believe, is in that video. Plus, if he wants to drop his email address in the comments down here, you can always get to him that way too. So yes, he does make custom holsters. He's very, very talented at that and willing to work with you and get it right for you. So, okay. So Dennis Hall asks, is it the Dan Wesson revolver in a 357 Magnum? No. I will give you all another hint. It is not a revolver. Let's see. Cowboy Jeff says Dan Wesson ECP in 45 ACP. That's hard to say, Cowboy Jeff. No, it is not ECP in 45 ACP. But I will tell you that you are correct on the caliber. So There you go. There's another hint. Dennis says, I would buy it if it was wool. I like wool blankets. Dennis, I love wool blankets. Yes, they're a little scratchy, but you know, to me, it's like a comfort texture. I don't know. I know it kind of drives some people nuts, but I love it. Oh, okay. So Cowboy Jeff, I'd really like him to also have it. I'd really like him to also have a Dan Wesson Heirloom 2022. There you go. I guess there's a vote for you to get another gun. Oh, okay. Jenny J 1911 breakfast cereal. That's a great idea, Tom. Okay, so I'm gonna, before I run out of time, I am gonna get to my newspaper. So you all know that we stopped at 2 places, and yes, I'm going to get to some serious news too in a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about the UVA shooting, but I think we only need to touch on that for, a couple of minutes. But, Catchman asks, Dan Wesson, Point Man in 45. No. So, we stopped at 2 places on the way to Tulsa. 3 actually, but we stopped for breakfast at this great little diner in a town that I don't remember what the town was even called. Wish I could give them a shout out. The breakfast was perfect, fantastic, wonderful, delicious, but I'm getting a note written to me right now, so maybe I'm going to find out in a second what this town was called. I don't remember. St. Clair. Yes, it was in St. Clair, Missouri. It really helps to have somebody off camera. So anyway, we stopped in St. Clair for breakfast, and then we stopped in, everybody say it with me, where did we stop next? Uranus. We stopped in Uranus, okay? Uranus, Missouri. Don't demonetize me, YouTube. It's Uranus, Missouri. That's the town. That's what it's called. So we stopped in Uranus, Missouri, and we got fudge because everybody says that the best fudge comes from Uranus. Sorry. So anyway, they have capitalized on this. I mean, shout out to the town of Uranus for making this what it is. So while we were in Uranus, they gave us a newspaper, the Uranus Examiner. And so I just wanted to read a few articles to you from the Uranus Examiner. So their byline here says, probing Uranus deeper than ever before. So we're looking into the news of Uranus. Okay. The top article says, breaking news. We pushed a ton of fudge out of Uranus. Right there. I cannot make this up. And then this other article, this side, our citizens love probing Uranus. So this says, how could we not honor some of our wonderful citizens of Uranus? People like them are the ones who keep the fudge flowing from Uranus daily, always coming in and out of Uranus with smiles on their faces, feeling refreshed. I'm sorry. I'm like, the town of Uranus makes me like I'm 5 again. Seriously. So, okay. Here's another article that I thought was kind of catchy. Uranus got even brighter, but better than that, even down at the bottom of the Uranus Examiner, wieners and things in Uranus. There it is. So this is what this article says. Have you been make sure you're not drinking anything right now if you're listening to this. Have you ever been exploring Uranus for so long that your stomach is starting to growl? Maybe you worked up an appetite sinking your balls into our putt holes at Uranus Putt Pirates. That's their putt golf place. Don't get any ideas. Tempt your taste buds at Uranus Ice Cream Company near the double-decker bus at the east edge of town. So that's good. That's good. And then there's also an ad down here for the Uranus Ice Cream Company, and it says "Eat Uranus" right there. Yeah. So, and then they also have, and I'm trying to figure out if this is real or not. They have the Uranus police log of incidents. I'm really not sure if these are real stories or not. I kind of have a feeling they are. So, okay. On April 18th of 2022, it says Uranus, Indiana, leaving the back door open in Uranus. So I guess there's a Uranus, Indiana as well, which I need to look into. It says the Anderson Police Department was called as apparently someone left the back door open to Uranus. After looking around, it was determined no one was inside of Uranus, and there's no further details. Nothing was missing and all was well. The mayor, Louis Keene, has taken a personal interest in this story and is looking further into it. Okay, maybe that story is not real. And then the next one says May 15th, 2022, Uranus, Missouri, getting your groove on in Uranus. The UPD was called to the Uranus General Store at approximately 10:30 p.m. due to a noise complaint. When the police arrived, they found a middle-aged woman writhing and dancing in Uranus during the lunar eclipse. Upon questioning, they found that she referred to herself as Star Child and that she was trying to get the good vibes while in Uranus. She was free to go as long as she left the property. She pulled out of Uranus with no further incident. Anyway, there are some stories that I won't read out loud on here. But yeah, it's a pretty informative newspaper. You know, they do talk about how this was actually published right before Halloween. Here's an article that says it will be getting spooky in Uranus soon. They're talking about how they have, trunk or treat there in Uranus. So yeah, and then yes, there's a whole page in here about Uranus, Indiana news. Actually, several pages. So yeah, it's a very interesting place. Interesting publication. If you can ever get a hold of one of these, you know what I should do? I should autograph this and send it to one lucky subscriber. All right. Back to the gun show for a second. Enough of this silliness, but I know that a lot of you got a kick out of that Uranus story. I know that Reese said that his coworkers were rolling on the floor laughing at the Uranus video. So I just did want to share that with you guys. Things are too serious in life sometimes, and sometimes we just have to laugh, right? All right. So Reese says, pick me. He wants Reese, you would have to share this with all your co-workers. So definitely. Okay. Another thing I wanted to show you guys is, and maybe you guys have heard about this, one huge display or exhibit that they had there, one table that they had there, was these miniature arms. Okay. And if you can see this set right here, that is all miniature. Okay. So think goat guns, but like even more historically accurate. So like, check out this little rifle right here. I mean, you can see the size of that in that person's hand. These things were so immaculately detailed in these collections and expensive. They cost the same amount as if you were to buy a real gun. Apparently, someone, MCF, just gifted 20 memberships. MCF, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you on behalf of anybody who's able to snag one of those. So I know that you guys need to like click accept gift or something. So if you do that, you will hopefully be able to grab that membership that MCF just gifted to 20 of you. So there are 20 of them up for grabs, and thank you. Critter's a member. Woohoo! So thank you, MCF, so much for doing that. You are amazing. So I'm just going to show you a few more pictures. And this was a story, a video I didn't get to do, and I wish I would have. But next time we go, I mean, just look at some of these guns. And those are wild, aren't they? Trying to find some of these other pictures here. I mean, I don't even know if you guys can see this picture right there. That, I mean, look at that. That is just so, the detail of all of these is just incredible. But we were really impressed. Here's another page of some really cool, look at all the little, I mean, seriously, how gorgeous are those things? So we would have loved to have spent some money on those, but it's like, do you spend money on those, or do you spend money on a real gun? And I just, I don't know. That's a real toss up, because those are so cool, but real guns are so cool too. So, I don't know. Walter Viejo says the detail on those minis is astounding. I know, it's just incredible. Like, those are artwork. Tom said, I must get some of those. I must get it. Tom is up to his good old puns. And by the way, Tom, I think everybody here would love to hear from you. So if you all think Tom should do a live with me, give a thumbs up. Put a like on this video if you think Tom should do a live with me. I'm trying to convince him to do one, and he's shy. So I think he'd be great on camera. He makes the best puns. But no, I don't know. I see a lot of like Uranus comments on here. People are kind of, I'm wading through all of the Uranus comments. Justin Time is here. Another unfortunate name town is Beaver, Utah. It's about 70 miles south of Fillmore. You can get I Heart Beaver apparel. Oh gosh. Oh, this show has taken a turn south, let me tell you. Okay, so quickly, I'm going to tell you about some projects we have coming up that you can be looking for in our videos. But before we do that, I just want to touch on one brief little news story here we have coming out of UVA. I'm sure you've all heard about the shooting in the University of Virginia. So apparently the suspect was, he was a member of he was on a field trip basically, and they were coming back on the bus, and he shot and killed 3 people and wounded 2 more. Apparently he's on the football team, and some of the other people that he shot were on the football team, and he made a comment and said something about, you guys are always picking on me or something. So, but they did get him. He tried to get away, I guess, and they've caught him. So that's good. But the 3 people that were killed were all juniors. Deshaun Perry, Lavelle Davis Jr., and Devin Chandler. And then one of the people that was wounded was also a football player. So, yeah. The quote is, "You guys are always messing with me." So, but of course, this gives our lovely government more, I guess, cannon fodder for, being anti-gun. So it kind of sucks. But it's this is what happens, and this is, I think, just as much about mental health and security as it is about somebody that has a gun. And I was talking to Lee, the last guy that I interviewed with the Ruger collection, and he was talking about how, he trains his grandsons, educates them about the safety of firearms. And so we were talking about that. And, we told him, I said, well, my theory is that if you educate somebody about firearms, it removes the mystery of it. And when the mystery is removed, that's when the likelihood of an accident plummets significantly. And so I really feel like, it's important for people to understand and be educated properly with these guns. And I think, that would help. So Critter says, expect more gun control push from Potato and Company. Yeah, I know. And he's being charged with 2nd-degree murder, not 1st-degree. Yeah. I don't know all the details of that, but it's like when another one of those things comes up in the headlines, it's just like, geez. Yeah. And Viejo says, yep, with all the gun restrictions in place that didn't work, we hear screams for even more controls that don't work. Yeah, exactly. Because again, those of us who are following the rules, the law-abiding people, are the ones that they ultimately want to control, when it's the people who don't give a flying fig about any laws or rules. They're the ones that are going to go out, get a gun anyway, and take it out and do whatever they want with it. John's hand loading says the lack of self-control that people have in each area of life opens up areas where the government asserts control. It is wrong, but that is what they do. Yep. Scott Allen agrees and says, exactly, safety education is key. Thank you. Thank you for agreeing with me. Yeah, it's just sad. It's sad. So I want to tell you what projects we have coming up, what you can be looking for. So obviously nobody guessed what this Dan Wesson is. I can't believe it. So you know what? I don't think I'm going to tell you. I think you're just going to have to wait for the video to see what it is. You do all know already what the new Springfield Armory is, the champion. And so we are also going to be doing a wad cutter video, and I still have to do my lockbox video. So that one's going to be coming up. I also have a video that I'm going to be doing. Some of you might remember that I had mentioned something about being interviewed by a French news outlet about guns in America. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about it now, but it did come out, and yours truly ended up on the editing room floor. Does anybody have a guess as to why I ended up on her editing room floor. My theory is because I didn't fit her agenda. And so I am going to be republishing this video and giving you my thoughts on it. I have talked to the other person who was in the video who did not end up on the editing room floor. I can tell you that he was a male, an American male, and I'm not going to say any more than that for right now, but I will be giving my thoughts and feedback on this story. And so that's going to be on my YouTube channel as well. Ding! So watch out for that. Trying to think what else. If there's any other stuff, any other projects we have coming up. So yeah, just those couple of guns. And then also I'll be doing this other, I'm going to talk to less about this other carry gun. Plus I'm going to be doing, so one of you guys had suggested, a couple weeks ago, wanting to see a comparison between a Glock and 1911. So we have got that kind of laid out and outlined. So we're going to be doing that too. Yeah. So it's that time. And you know what? It is time for all good little girls and boys to go to bed. And I have some chocolate chip cookies upstairs that are calling my name before I head to bed. So I might have one of them. So you know what? I am really glad that I got to see all of you tonight. And I am so glad that I got to talk to you about our trip to Tulsa. And, you know, I really appreciate all of you, especially all of you who have become members. Thank you to MCF for donating the memberships. I see now we have Catchman is also a member. I'm not sure who else grabbed one of those, but hopefully you guys were able to snag those, and I really appreciate everybody doing that. Make sure you hit like on this video. Make sure you ask your friends and family to subscribe so that I can send a press to one of you. I want to send a press to one of you, so please do that so that I can do that. And I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and I look forward to talking to you all again soon. Good night. Sweet dreams.